What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another obnoxious start to a video, and I hope y'all are doing well. Alright, so I wanted to get back to this Luke Hungarian Bootleg. It's a really great figure. I did the very basic minimum of research on Hungarian bootlegs, just so people who are not familiar with them will have some basic information on them. I mean, I knew most of this stuff, or all of it really, but you know, I couldn't remember the exact figures that were included in the small bootleg line. But here he is. This is a Luke Skywalker Farmboy Outfit Hungarian bootleg. These were bootlegs in the 1987 is when they kind of were, in theory, supposed to have come out. That's what they're labeled as, is 1987. It's a beautiful figure. A little background on this figure. You know, I had just gotten into bootlegs maybe September, or it might have been August of last year. I can't remember exactly when. But I've been looking for Luke Farmboy Hungarian bootleg. And, you know, this one came up for sale on eBay from a seller in Hungary. And what attracted me to it was, number one, the price was fairly reasonable for one of these. But also, as I've mentioned in the unboxing video, the thumbs were both intact on this figure. And, you know, for those of you who are unfamiliar with these Hungarian bootlegs, they are known for having very brittle thumbs. Almost all the ones you see for sale on eBay, the thumbs are broken off because they're just so fragile. The arms are also extremely loose on these Hungarian bootlegs, which is why I had, and, you know, I'll say this, I didn't even ask for CAS. God, I wish my camera would stay focused. I didn't even ask CAS to bracket the arms. They just did that. I did mention when I bought it that, or when I sent it in, that, you know, that I thought the arms were really loose, and this is a really fragile item, so be careful. But they did go ahead and bracket the arms for me, as you see in the case, and it turned out great. I'm glad they did that because, you know, between shipping back to me and, you know, moving it around on my shelf, you know, these arms would move around if they didn't have brackets on them. But they did a great job of securing the figure very carefully and preventing any rub or any kind of breakage. So it turned out great. I really love it. And, you know, I'm a little surprised it didn't come back with a little bit higher score. There is some eyebrow rub up here, but the colors in general are great. I mean, the belt is in great shape. As you can see, versus some of these, you know, most of the Luke, or really all of the Luke variants, have some sort of orangish, yellowish pant color. But with this Hungarian bootleg, at least this one I have, it's more of a gray color. So, you know, very light, faint, purplish gray. But a really nice figure. You know, all the colors are somewhat dull, which maybe is what hurt the score a little bit. But, you know, it came back with a 75 plus, which I'll show you in a second. But just a beautiful figure. This figure, when carded, they all came on cards, beautiful kind of retro Hungarian cards, and I'll put a link in the description to this video so people can see the link that I found that shows all the different figures carded. But this Luke Farmboy Hungarian bootleg came with a green lightsaber that was also bootleg, and then a Bespin style blaster that was a bootleg. This is incomplete, obviously, but you know, the last known data point I have for the saber alone, just the saber, somebody on Facebook paid $800 for it, which is crazy to me. But, you know, hey, I've overpaid for stuff before, as you saw in my Letty videos. So I'm not one to judge people for overpaying. But, you know, I paid less than half of that for the figure, which is a great figure. And I can't justify that kind of price for just a lightsaber. But somebody else could because they had a focus or whatever. But I'm certainly not one to judge based on my purchase history. But anyway, he did come with a saber and a Bespin style blaster that were both bootleg. Here's the label. 1987 Hungary bootleg Star Wars Luke Skywalker, and it's articulated 75 plus. So, you know, a really beautiful figure. I love him, and you know, it turned out great. You know, like I said, I think a complete figure with both accessories would just be way outside of my budget, but it just turned out great, and I love it. In terms of the other figures that were in the line, okay, so I've got the list in front of me, and like I said, I'll put a link to it in the description for this video. But you got Luke Skywalker, which I described. You got Han Solo, and all of these were in the vintage style. They all look very vintage. Han Solo came with either a Leia style gun or a Bespin gun. Darth Vader came with a cape and red lightsaber. Princess Leia, she came with her black Leia gun and a cape. And she had 3 different card variants for her. Chewbacca came with his Chewbacca-style bowcaster. Boba Fett was, he's probably the most desirable of the Hungarian bootlegs. He also came with, strangely enough, a Chewbacca bowcaster. There was a C-3PO. And then the last 3 were not first 12 figures. That these came out in 1987, so it was post Return of the Jedi. But the other 3 were kind of a weird mix and match of figures. There was a Wicket, and he came with a spear. He's by far the most affordable if you wanted to get one carded. Even graded, you're probably talking $800-900, but still, which is a lot of money, but it is attainable. But some of these others go for multiple thousands of dollars carded. There was a Hoth Stormtrooper. He came obviously with a cape and his Hoth-style Stormtrooper rifle. And then a Biker Scout is the last one, and he came with a Bespin-style gun, not a Biker Scout pistol. So, but if you all want to see the card backs and what they look like, they're really cool card backs. Like I said, just click on the link below. My only caution for those of you who have deeper pockets than I do, be very, very careful about buying these carded, because these were recarded later. Like I said, originally these came out in 1987, but late 80s, early 90s, maybe even into the mid 90s, these were recarded, and they still sell for quite a bit of money, a few $100, but they are not original 1987 card backs. So oftentimes you'll see on eBay what looks like a carded Hungarian example. They're usually Leia or Han. Those are the two biggest culprits for these recarded figures, but I'm sure that they did them for all of them. But those recards still sell for, $150 or more. But they are not the original card backs. They are reprints, like a second run, if you will. So be very careful about what you buy. Obviously, if they're graded, they're going to be more expensive. You're talking, $700-800 minimum for a Wicket graded, but and into the thousands of dollars for some of these others. But they are out there. They can be purchased, and my buddy's got a really beautiful collection of these Hungarian bootlegs, and he managed to get most of them complete or nice figures without broken thumbs and things like that for very reasonable, attainable prices within the kind of mid-range collectors budget. So they are out there. I don't mind sharing prices where I think it's reasonable, but I want to say, this is a while ago, so I don't know exactly, but I want to say I paid $350 for this guy ungraded. But he's complete in terms of no broken thumbs, but he's without accessories. So that gives you a rough price point of what these things cost. Obviously, like I said, for accessories, they can go for more than the figure, which is crazy, but it's true. And the same is true for some other bootlegs, like Uzes, especially Turkish Uze bootlegs. So anyway, that's all I got. I just thought you guys would like to take a look at them. Here's one final look, I guess, just really quick. But just a beautiful example, and he fits in perfectly with my Kenner figures. And I'm really happy to have him. I don't know if I'll get any other Hungarian bootlegs in my collection, maybe one day, but I definitely wanted to get one of these, and this is just a beautiful example in my opinion. And it graded as a 75 plus, so I can't complain too much. So anyway, thank you for watching, and leave any comments below.